There are only a few people in the whole world in academics who are doing precursor development work, and I was one of them. So I began a slow change from doing organometallic and inorganic synthetic chemistry for fun and for interesting problems to trying to solve problems with atomic layer deposition film growth. Around 2008 or 2009, I met the head of a new group at Applied Materials called the Chemistry Group. He needed qualified people to work with him. And so I said, well, I'd be happy to introduce you to my students. And then as that group expanded, they were attacking more and more problems. They needed help. Around 2014 or so that I began to get funding from Applied.
The research that Chuck Winter was doing, right? He works in developing new chemical precursors that can influence materials properties, performance and such. And there was this opportunity to really set up this remote collaboration with Professor Winter and really set up an ecosystem where we can kind of be separated a little bit from the mothership, kind of drown out some of the white noise, if you will, and really focus on a lot of those high value problems that exist in the industry today.
We have 2 projects that we sponsor that comes from Applied budget that goes to Chuck, and they will be on highly relevant problem statements that the industry needs to solve. And so we give them what the problem statement is, what we're trying to solve, what are the key metrics related to it. We'll actually transfer it to the adjacent lab, that's why it's so important to have a Applied Materials lab on site. It's the stuff that he develops. We can then bring it to Applied owned equipment, which opens the door up to a lot more internal knowledge that we have at Applied. And then it goes to Santa Clara and scales up, and then we go to a customer.
The partnership between WSU and AMAT was what allowed me to even get in touch with AMAT in the first place. I had easy access to AMAT in the sense that I could just walk down, because I was on the 2nd floor, into the 1st floor where Dr. Winter's lab is. And that's how I was able to sort of express my interest. And it was the first door that opened for me, and professionally, I was able to get not only just a job referral, but mentorship.
The industry is projected to really expand significantly in the next 5 to 6 years, effectively double, approximately $1 trillion by 2030. You can't just simply grow the business without incorporating talent into that, right? So there's this big initiative internally to really hone in on that, identify talent early, develop them, and present them with opportunities.
The biggest benefit from degree to career aspect is that the students are able to work directly with Applied Materials, people who know the standard that we need in the industry to make things successful. Working with Applied Materials, the students will get a direct viewpoint of exactly how industry operates. The urgency is at a top level when you're in industry. Every single experiment you do has to kind of somewhat be justified why you're doing it. You have to think about the mechanisms, and we hold them accountable to that. And I think they develop into what I would consider a perfect candidate for our industry. Students have the ability to see how their research could impact society, like directly. And everybody knows what computer chips are, right? And that's what our company does. We help enable next generation computer chips, right? And so being able to say, hey, I worked on that material, right, or that precursor that could potentially go into HVM and enable your AI and things of that nature, I think most people in this, when you go to grad school, you want to have real impact on society.
The connection with industry is there are so many graduates of WSU now working at AMAT. That itself is already a network that you can leverage.
The microelectronics industry keeps growing, but much of it is based in California or Arizona or increasing other places. And many people would like to stay in Michigan. So one of my goals would be to help promote the Detroit area in Southeast Michigan as a place where companies can can set up and have high world-class talent working for them and solve big problems.
Detroit is really not the same city that I was exposed to 15, 20 years ago. It's so lively and vibrant, right? And when you couple that with a lot of the research capabilities that are happening here, the diverse academic environment, why not? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. We can do things here that that are simply world class.